Sophia, the last time I saw you, we were on the top of an open top bus in London taking selfies
You're
around.
kidding me. That was
Around
the last time?
that was the last time, and it
So
feels like a lifetime ago.
that's more than 2 years ago.
The Descendants too. So yeah, it's been a long.
Still. Oh, it's so funny you say that. We were just thinking in a post-COVID world, I probably would have been in London with you at the top of a bus right now.
Oh, I would have loved that. But
Me
I'm so
too.
glad. I'm so glad that we have technology and we can still, talk to you about the
Yes,
film.
yes.
We'll try and keep it nice and light and not get too heavy. But how was it though going to work on a movie during this time when people didn't think, you were going to be able to make a movie, and here you are having made a movie about, something that is very now.
It's surreal to think back at what we did and how they were able to do it and to be a part of it all is such an honor. It was extraordinary. Everything about it, from the birth of the film and the idea. Adam Mason, 4 days into quarantine, wrote this film. He had this impossible idea of making a movie about what seemed like the impossible reality that we were living. And obviously, it's based a couple years into the future. But as he was writing, he told me that everything that he started to write that seemed kind of pessimistic started to happen to us. Curfews, military lockdowns, all of that. So to be able to kind of come into a film and create art out of this darkness, and art that at the end of the day is a story of hope, is such an honor and a privilege.
Yeah, nice love story in there, which is what we like. That's what we're
Yeah.
going to film. You have an incredible cast, but if you had to choose just one of them to quarantine with, who would you choose? Like, who would? Because I know there's plenty of people out there who would love to be stuck in a room with like KJ Appa, but I don't know, Demi Moore and the stories that she's probably got from her time.
I'm gonna say Demi Moore and her family, because I know that she's been quarantining in like a beautiful, I think, ranch or a beautiful home, not in California, and that just seems like a nice place to be. And the stories that she must have, I mean, I think that'd be pretty cool to quarantine with her.
Obviously, there's a lot of video calls in here. Are you someone have you always been a kind of video call person? I feel like this has forced us into it, but
I've never been a video call person. I've never really liked it. And even still, I don't really love it. But sometimes it's the only thing that we have.
Yeah.
And to really tell a love story through FaceTime was a challenge, but it's become people's reality in a way. Like, I'm distanced from my family by a whole country. I mean, the span of a country. So sometimes FaceTime is the only thing that connects us, so it's a blessing.
Are you the person who looks at yourself on the camera, or do you look at
sometimes I'm like, Sophia, why are you looking at yourself? So yeah, I'm guilty of that sometimes.
We all have to do it. You always have to check. You have to check depending on who you're speaking to.
Exactly.
Where would you escape to if you had immunity and it was nothing to worry about? Where in the world would you escape to?
Okay, so if me and my family have immunity, that would be amazing. I would go see my grandparents in Colombia, and then I'm dying to go to Europe. Like, something about being in Paris right now just sounds so magical. So I think I would go to Paris. I would absolutely go to Paris.
Paris is always magical.
It's always magical, yeah, especially this time of year.
Yes, I just miss being able to travel. That's more than anything. Soon though, soon. But there must have been some positive. Obviously, being able to make films is a positive. But for you personally, what have been the positives of lockdown? Like, for me, I love that I've had time to exercise every morning, because I'm not a morning person. Like, I never had time for that before.
Good for you that you actually made that time for yourself, because I feel like it could go either way, right? Because it's not easy to work out from home.
No, so I found my motivation. I'm good. For you, what have been your personal positives from lockdown?
I mean, I think this has been a time of forced us to kind of sit down and self-reflect. And I still do, but especially before COVID, I lived a life that was nonstop with little time to kind of sit down and think about how you are and how you're feeling. And sometimes I prefer it that way. It's just easier. But in the beginning of lockdown, you kind of have to sit with yourself and your thoughts and check in with yourself. And I think it's been a big journey of self-exploration. And I think I am, and I think people that I've spoken to who are all in lockdown, I feel like we've come out stronger after this, which is which has been great.
Did you get to spend any time with any of the cast, or was it all very socially distanced?
And the only time that I spent was with KJ, and it was the weekend before we started shooting, because I was cast, and 2 days later I was on set, so we had to bring to life this beautiful and impossible Romeo and Juliet pandemic love story, and we hadn't even met. And our director wanted us to write the story ourselves. Like, he didn't tell us, this is how you met, this is how you fell in love, this is the backstory. He was like, I want you to imagine it. So we kind of sat down at KJ's place outside, and we had been tested and such, and we created their story together. And then the next day we met with our director and kind of shared what we had imagined. And that was really the only time that we, I guess, hung out. And it was just because we needed this time to bring the story to life.
Oh, well, hopefully you can do some more stuff together then, because you guys seem to work great together.
It worked out so well. And it's funny because our chemistry read was through FaceTime, just like all of auditions have been from now on. We FaceTimed each other, and there was like a producer on the line, and I remember KJ, after the first few lines that I said, he was like, this like, I can feel the chemistry. And it's crazy how you can test something like that through FaceTime, but it worked.
Well, that's the thing. That's the new norm for like dating and everything now. You have to.
No, it's weird. I mean, I acted it in the movie, but I can't imagine it in real life.
Yeah, that's what my life's come to. It's like,
exactly.
Never mind. And the film is set in 2024. I do not imagine that life will imitate art in this case. I imagine we are going to be in a good place by then. So have you set yourself any goals for what by that time you would have liked to have achieved?
That's a great question. You know, I've always been kind of bitten by the bug of wanting to continue to make movies and films, but especially after this role, I just cannot wait to continue to take on roles that challenge me as an actor and as a person, like this role did. Everything about this role did. So I would love to continue making movies, even television as well, and short series, TV series. I just love being able to tell stories in that way. So to be able just to continue to do that would be a blessing. And by then, in a post-COVID world, I will go on a world tour. I see it. And, you know, that's always been a big dream of mine. I've performed around the world, but to go on a world tour is something that I've always wanted to do. And most importantly, by then, you know, I have the honor of being a UNICEF ambassador. So I would hope to be able to travel a couple of times a year and do field trips with them like I was supposed to this year, and, you know, continue my work with them.
Oh, amazing. Well, good luck with the film, Sophia, when it comes out. It's always lovely to see you on screen, but I would prefer one day to see you again.
Very soon. We will recreate our bus moment.
I exactly. Take some selfies. And be wonderful. Take care of yourself, Sophia. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.